And I disappeared again. Welcome back to Underground Noise Webzine Podcast, Metalheads and Rockers. As you know, I'm Eldon. I'm the host, and Rhino's the co-host, and our co-co-host, Roger Wilco, standing right behind him. I'd like to let everybody know today's webisode number 148. Is it?
9.
Oh, that's right. It's 149. Damn. I've
Some
never
people.
picked that up. You're terrible today, sir. Well, anyway, today's guest is Braxton Keyser from Between the Killings. What's up, Braxton? How you doing?
Up? How you guys doing?
Good. How about yourself?
Doing good.
Great, man. Great.
That's cool. I asked this question last night, but I'm going to ask you the same question. It was an interesting one. How did you come up with the name Between the Killings?
Honestly, it was kind of just spur of the moment. I was watching it was a true crime show one night, man. It was late at night. I was just watched a million of them, and they were talking about somebody, and then they were explaining it, and they said Between the Killings, and I was like, bing, that sounds cool as shit. You know, what are these people between the killings? You know what I mean? We know how they came about, we know how they ended, but what was between? So that's kind of my theory on that name.
It's a really unique name, and it's extremely catchy.
Yeah, I mean that's a plus too. I mean, I think that's kind of why it caught my ear when I was watching that. You know what I mean? It just kind of, oh, okay.
Yeah, it kind of makes your hair raise up a little bit, right?
Right. And I mean, with us, and I always like that serial killer theme. It just seemed too fitting, too perfect.
That's really cool. Are you inspired by horror movies?
Yeah, dude. I mean, yeah, anything horror and serial killers. Those are my two prime, of course, especially in this genre of brutal death metal.
That's really cool. What would you say is the best horror movie of all time?
Oh man, I'm a diehard Nightmare on Elm Street fan, but I would have to say Nightmare on Elm Street 3. That is probably my all-time favorite. If you look in the background, I've got all kinds of memorabilia. I'm a horror fanatic, man. Love it. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, the reason why I ask you that is because my bandmate happens to like horror movies, and so do I, actually.
Oh, awesome. Hell yeah.
Yep, you might know him. His name is Brendan Jackson from Fetal and
yes. Hey, you guys at Arkansas, man, I can't wait. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome.
Looking forward to it because that's what this podcast is all about this time around. We're doing a series on the Arkansas Death Fest.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm so stoked. I can say for all of us in Between the Killings, man, we are completely stoked to be playing this, man. Heath approached me last year at Chicago Domination Fest. And man, we wanted to come down there the year prior, but things couldn't, mesh. It just didn't work. So that was a priority for us. We wanted to get down there with Heath, man, and help him kick off this stuff, man. That property, and he takes care of his people, man. And yeah, we're really stoked for it, dude.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great time because this is Nightmare Crypt's second show because we're gonna start in Denver, Colorado, and just drive all the way there.
Oh, dude, absolutely. That's awesome, man. You guys play Friday, correct?
Yeah, we're gonna be one of the opening bands. We'll be the third one because his one-man band's the first one.
Oh, right on. Yeah, we should definitely be there then.
Yep. Then it's Roots of Deception, then Nightmare Crypt, and then it just goes up from there.
Yeah, I mean, dude, there isn't a bad band from top to bottom. So, I mean, anybody that don't come out to this, they're missing out.
Absolutely, dude. What you got, Rhino?
Oh, I'm going to start off with this one because that's one of my favorites. Do you have anything you would like to confess to Roger and Underground Noise Webzine?
Anything I would like to confess? Let's see here.
Forgive me, Roger, for I have sinned.
Yeah, right. Let's see. I think if people will get a lot of shock out of, I like New Kids on the Block.
You said that's a little much.
So, I mean, hey, you got to get influenced somehow, some way from all genres. So, hey, guilty pleasure. So I confess.
I'll have to admit though, if they were to start a new album, it would probably be called Old Kids on the Corner.
Right? Senior on the clock. Show sponsored by AARP.
ARP. That's
But yeah, man, I love doing that to people though, man. I love throwing people off like that because we, and definitely in metal, we get this, they get this preconceived notion of what we are, who we are, and I love to just throw curveballs at them. You know what I mean? They're just like, well,
Yep.
what? That you do this, but what?
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
No. That is cool. What's your buddy's name? Roger?
Roger.
Oh man, yeah, he's pretty killer.
Yep, that's
right. He can be an ass, but all right.
Well deserved.
So for those who wind up listening and don't know, how long have you guys been around, and what kind of lineup changes have you had?
Oh man, well, when I initially came up with Between the Killings, it was around 2017-ish, around there. But then I went through people here and there. Nobody real solid, no real foundation. I would say about 2021 is when I really put together a solid lineup. But at that time, I was just trying to, I just was looking to do a studio project. That's all I was trying to do, just get something going. And, I've been doing this and been in the brutal death metal scene for 20 plus years now. So, I was like, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this right. So I recruited Vaughn Young, which we all know from Deaden, Levidity, and then I got Kyle Chrisman, which was a really good friend of mine. We're both from Indiana. He was the former drummer of Gorgasm. He did Human Filleted. He's got a new band called Protrusion that's really killer, real old school death metal feel, man. Very awesome. And then I had Joe Gordon from Mortal Decay on the first EP. And then on bass, I had recruited a guy. Nobody really knew. They were a local band, and Ian. And yeah, man, I wanted to put out something different, something cool, you know what I mean? And I had this super group. So about 2002-ish, we started putting it together. Me and Vaughn started knocking ideas out, man. So we come up with this whole Killing Quartet concept, man. And yeah, it's just kind of grown from there. And then Kyle and Joe ended up having to step down because we had got so much word, man, and we were just stoked. I mean, we wanted to do shows. It went from the studio thing. We were so spread to now we're going to do shows. So those guys couldn't hold those obligations at that time. So they did the right thing and stepped down and let somebody come in, and here we are rocking, man.
Oh, excellent. You have any other shows tied, I guess, in with Arkansas Death Fest, or is this going to be a one-off?
So here's the thing: my drummer Ian and my drummer Justin and my bassist Ian, they also play in two other bands that are playing the Arkansas. They are doing 3 sets in one night, dude. I'm just like, you guys are nuts and way younger than me.
Yep.
Triple duty.
Yeah, dude. So like, we're just coming down, just all of us in one van, so it's still like really a full band, but there's 3 bands.
Right.
But yeah, so we didn't really schedule anything around this with them working with all the other bands, you know what I mean? It's kind of a one shot deal.
Yeah, just make them change their clothes in between. It doesn't become too obvious.
Right.
Between the clotheslines.
All right, what you got, Al?
Well, let's see. What bands are you looking forward to check out at Arkansas Death Fest, Braxton?
I mean, dude, there's just that whole list is insane, man. Like I've had the honor of seeing a lot of the bands, I'm looking forward to Horrific Visions from Texas. I think they're going to be pretty fucking sick. Of course, Necessary Death. My drummer and bassist band, man. If you guys are into gore grind, like, dude, they're so sick. They're so sick. You got Lividity. Like I said, I could sit here and just rattle and rattle and rattle, man. The whole lineup, the weekend.
That works for me. Best answer I've heard yet. I love that. Let's see. What bands would you say help influence your sound?
So, like I said, when I originally did that we did the first EP. There was a vibe because there's a storyline behind these Killing Quartet series EPs that we do. So basically, you're going into the mind of a serial killer, and he's doing his confessions, being interrogated. So he's backtracking, telling the story. So there's an eeriness to this guy. So, my big thing was like, man, how can I get this vibe? You know what I mean? That's different. There's great stuff out there, but let's be real, especially in brutal death metal, man, there's a lot of monotonous, same old shit. And I didn't want that. So it was like Joe Gordon. Who can catch that creepy vibe, man? Joe Gordon, Mortal Decay. That's all I could think, man. Like, and then Vaughn with his slam style, groove style riffs that he's always played, even in his dead days. You know what I mean? I was like, all right. And then Kyle Christman. It speaks for itself. There, Gorgasm. So yeah, man.
Band.
Yeah, so that was the thing, man. Just catching this vibe, dude. This creepy vibe, and I think we did that. And then as we go, you're going to see the progression of the killer and the story. So ultimately, you want to see the progression of the music too, because that's what you're really looking for. So the more we get into this, the crazier and more aggressive it'll get.
That's really awesome. Now, when you said Vaughn, did you mean Vaughn Stoffy?
No, Vaughn Young. Young.
I don't know him.
Okay, he was the former vocalist guitarist for Lividity. And then he had Deaden back in the day. If you guys are familiar, back in the United Guttural, like golden era of brutal death metal, that time frame. So yeah, Vaughn, he's been kicking around for many years.
That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. What do you like to do in your free time when you're not writing music? Do you like to watch TV, say play a video game?
Man, I'm a family man. I've got 6 kids.
So that's what you do in your spare time.
Yeah, you nailed it. I gotta stop that. But yeah, dude, I'm a family man. I work, and it's all about family, dude. I ain't got time for much else.
Hey, that's okay. You got to help the kids with homework, right?
Yeah, well, they help me.
Well, that'd be homework.
Yeah, right. They want me to help. I'm just trying to figure it out. Then they have to explain it. So I guess in a way, I'm kind of teaching them, like, hey, yeah, just repeat back to me what I told you and let it sink in.
Well, before I hand it over to Rhino, I'm going to ask you this question. What is the most embarrassing thing that you've encountered while performing?
Dude, to be honest, I really don't get embarrassed on stage. To be honest, I do a pretty good job of it every time I'm on stage. So, there's no defining moment. It's what will I do next?
Good answer. Very good answer. You're up, Rhino.
All right. You were just saying with the album, how the songs are written in progression. Is that how you're going to be performing them in Arkansas?
There's definitely a vibe. There's a mix of the first EP and the new EP, but I think the vibe, the ultimate vibes, that's what's so cool about even the lineup change to this new EP is we were able to keep this eeriness, man, this dark vibe. So it's like no matter what song, how we list it, it just keeps that creepiness to it. So I'm grateful we've been able to keep that sound and that vibe.
Too cool. And what's your are these guys using a single tuning, multiple, and what is that?
Yeah, we use single tuning, if I can remember correctly, because I'm just a dumb vocalist that gets up there and screaming. I think we're in B. I'm not sure 100%. I'm pretty sure it's B, but yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, I'm gonna throw one completely off here. This you're not prepared, but all right. What advice do you give to your 10-year-old self? Doesn't have to be musical. Just what advice do you give to your 10-year-old self?
Ooh, be aware. Be aware of everything, understanding what people are telling you, learning.
Not.
Learn and absorb as much as you can.
Yep.
Grow.
Yeah, my son's 24 and he's just learning to learn.
Hey, it took me years too.
I mean, he's smart as hell, but he never picked up the life lessons.
Sometimes we got to learn the hard way, and that's unfortunate. But I guess the key, and like I said, if I was to tell 10-year-old me, just learn. Just learn. Listen and learn.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. And not all candy is free.
No, not at all. I don't think anything free.
All right, now just to go in a very different direction.
No, I like that. That was a great question. Great question.
All right, so this next one, hopefully you're up for it. Actually, I'm sure you are. All right, you get to bring a musician back from the dead. In return, though, you have to sacrifice a modern musician. Who are you bringing back? Who are you burying?
Oh, who would I bring back? There's so many because, dude, I'm influenced by so much music. It's really hard to pinpoint one. Metal-wise, I would love to see Dimebag come back, man. I would have loved to see what could have happened there, with because I grew up in the 90s. So, I mean, dude, Pantera, that was huge influence on me. So, yeah, I'd have to say Dime, man. I would have loved to see what he'd have done in the later years and how he would have influenced metal.
Well, he did, but yeah.
I mean, just be that much more.
Continuing on, yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, now you got to kill somebody.
Fuck, can we put God, let's put P. Diddy in there right now, man.
Okay.
I mean, if anybody's deserving to get fucking killed right now, that nasty fuck should.
Excellent. And we'll throw in Yoko just for the hell of it.
Right. That's the shits and giggles one.
I'll turn it back to Al.
All right, man.
Speaking of Yoko Ono, I saw one of her videos and I'm like, this woman doesn't know how to sing. She just yells at people.
Right. I honestly, you see the old photos of her and Lennon together naked, and it's like, what did he see in her?
He was on some good shit.
Like, this dude was seriously on some good drugs, wasn't he?
Yeah, I always wanted to get a shirt. I always wanted to get a shirt that said it should have been Yoko.
Oh, God.
There's a lot of people that have that feeling.
Yeah. I have seen one that said it should have been Lars.
Oh, God damn it. He just
should have been Lars.
And should do, actually. Just, I guess, keep doing what he's doing. I don't know. Poor Lars. It's like you want to cut him some slack, but then he just does it to himself. When you hear a new release, you're like, why, dude? Why do you do that?
If I ever go to a Metallica concert, I'm going to tell Lars to sit the fuck down and play the drums.
Right. Well, I mean, with all the new technology, hell, he probably just sits there anyways.
Yeah. Probably hits that snare drum like it's a garbage can.
That Stain Anger garbage can.
That's right. Sounded almost like country music in the beginning of the music video. I'm like, what the hell is James trying to do? Country?
Look like the Cowardly Lion still.
Exactly, from The Wizard of Oz. I
Yeah,
definitely see the similarity with that because I saw that meme at one time and I was like, holy shit, they made a meme out of James Hetfield.
it's like scary accurate.
Yeah, extremely. Like, what
Yeah.
the
Yeah, girl. Oh,
when did he become Macho Man Randy Savage? Oh, yeah.
There will never be another Macho Man Randy Savage ever. I'm a diehard wrestling fan, so yeah.
Fucking A, dude, that's awesome. I love wrestling myself. It's been a good minute since I watched it, but who would you say is your favorite wrestler?
Getting good again. Getting good again.
Who's your favorite wrestler?
Of all time?
Yeah.
Oh, Hulk Hogan.
Awesome.
I was a Hulkamaniac my whole childhood, man.
Yeah, I can still remember going to Kmart with my mom buying a Hulkamania t-shirt. And it was all fluorescent colors and it was a white t-shirt.
Yeah, right. Oh,
did you rip it off?
No.
Everything.
Oh.
Right. There it is.
No, yeah, Rhino, I didn't.
I was totally. I was ripping my shirts and thought I was cool.
Yeah, that's kind of funny because I liked him and also George the Animal Steel.
Oh yeah, man. See, I love that era of wrestling. I mean, even compared to like a lot of people love the Attitude Era of what the Stone Cold and Rock years, and I'm like, no, give me the Ultimate Warrior and Rick Rude, Mr. Perfect, Bobby Heenan.
Oh yeah, and also who else was out there? Dusty Rhodes.
Oh yeah, of course, Dusty. Yep.
Those are some good times, man.
Out here, I'm in Maryland, and I don't live far. Well, he's dead now. From Nikolai Volkov.
Oh yeah, the Russian.
That dude was literally square. His chest, and his daughter was as muscular as he was.
Oh, I believe it. I believe it because I think he was like an Olympic athlete too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, it's like we meet him, and he's like messing with my friend's hair. He's like, "You look like a little girl." And he's like, you punch me and I punch you.
Well, I'm not trying to punch you.
Yeah, I'll break my hand and then you punch me. Great.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so funny story like Dusty Rhodes, you bring up Dusty Rhodes. So like my first experience meeting anybody famous was actually Dusty Rhodes. I was a little kid, me and my brother, my mom took us to a wrestling show. I'm being a little brat ass kid running around and I'm not paying attention. And I'm by the gate from where the wrestlers were going from the arena to their cars. And well, I'm not paying attention and boom, I get knocked down. I'm like 6 years old. And all I hear is, hey baby, you all right? Oh shit, it's Dusty Rhodes. And then of course, then it was on because I think at that time he had like a feud with like a Big Boss Man or something like that, man. So I went back telling my mom, oh, he had his handcuffs, he had that. I know he did. But yeah.
That sounds like good times.
Oh, it was, dude, definitely.
You were saying cars. I swear on my life, Nikolai and his daughter went when we were done talking to him. They left in a Geostorm.
Oh, I believe it, dude. I believe it.
Like they weighed more than the Geostorm.
You think of Andre the Giant back in the day, of how bad it would have been for somebody like him back then. Right plane, traveling. Oh, I couldn't imagine being all cooped up, two people in a little Geostorm.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of Andre the Giant, I was told at one time that whenever he would rip ass, farting,
he would laugh hysterically.
Yeah, no, that would last a whole minute.
Yeah. Well, you guys know he holds like a record for most beers drank in one setting.
Yeah.
Like 300 and some. It's something crazy. They said that man averaged at dinner, he would drink 4 to 5 bottles of wine and a fifth of Jack Daniels for dinner.
Jeez.
Yeah. But I mean, think you're that size. I'm sure you could handle quite a bit of alcohol.
Yeah, 7 feet 4 inches, 400 some pounds or more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
I don't know that much. I mean, I'm 230, so I don't think I could take half. I couldn't do a bottle and a half of wine and a half a bottle of liquor.
oh, it said he was doing 4 bottles of wine.
Or four, yeah, I couldn't do two.
Yeah, plus his meal. I mean,
Right.
I couldn't imagine.
Not only that, he had more teeth than the average human.
Yeah, his whole structure. I mean,
Yeah.
if you think about it, he really wasn't very old when he died. I think he was only in his 50s. And he was lucky to have lived that long, I guess.
Yeah.
So everybody has their Andre the Giant history now.
Absolutely. For those that don't know much about Andre the Giant, you just got told.
Yes, and go check him out.
Well, he's kind of dead. Huh.
An amazing story.
Yeah, I'll never forget in WrestleMania when Hulk Hogan actually body slammed him.
Yeah, WrestleMania 3.
Yep. I was just a kid and it was on pay-per-view and our parents wouldn't let us watch it. My brother and I were trying to watch and it was all, pixelated.
Yeah.
We're just like, Hulk Hogan just body slammed Andre the Giant. Like, what the fuck?
Oh, how huge of a deal that was. Such a man.
Was. Well, speaking of music and stuff like that,
That's right. That's what the show is.
Yeah, I think so.
No, it's what,
and I'm a talker, so you got.
Nah, we're all.
It's all right.
And this is what we like to do.
Sound like old farts in the nursing home talking about death metal.
Hey, I ain't against it.
Neither am I. And I could just see it now when we're in like our 80s or so. You're on Cannibal Corpse, Sonny. Oh my God.
They didn't make slams like they used to.
There, Braxton.
You hear them gutturals? That's bullshit. He's cheating.
I think he's using a pitch shifter, that fucking bitch.
Hey, I'm intrigued now. I'm kind of looking forward. Now you gave me something to look forward to in my old age.
Yeah, there you go, dude. 10 minutes.
Yes, very much.
So what do you like to do when you're on tour? Like when you have an off day? You like to go sightseeing?
Dude, our band, because like I no longer drink. I've been alcohol free for like 5 years now. And rest of the guys, they don't really party, so we're a food band. That's what we love to do, man. Go check out different areas, the food. That's what we're all about. So that's another reason why we're stoked about Arkansas. I can't wait to try the food.
You and me both, man. Let's go crazy with it.
Oh, I'm game. Come find Between the Killings camp. We're total game.
Yeah, hopefully there's some chicken wings with blue cheese.
Oh, dude. If not, we'll find something.
Yeah, I'll be sure to bring a bag of beef jerky.
Perfect.
Or maybe some human jerky. Cattle decapitation reference, of course.
Yeah.
Well, Rhino and Braxton, we got 8.5 minutes left in this session. You want to ask some more questions, Rhino, or did you want to wait?
I got a couple.
Okay.
Okay, let's take this one. What is the first music show that you attended by choice?
By choice? Would have been 95. I was 12. Or 11, sorry. I was 11. I went, my best friend at the time, his uncle, he was the cool uncle, he was younger and he listened to all the underground stuff and all the heavy stuff and stuff like that. So he showed us Pantera, and that started the Great Southern Train with White Zombie, I Hate God, and Deftones actually opened that.
Yeah, they were just coming up at that point.
Yeah, I think their first album had just come out then. So yeah, that was the first one.
Yeah, they were. It's one thing I don't regret. I'm so glad I got to see Pantera live.
Yeah, oh yeah, me too, man. I got to see them actually twice on the Great Southern Shrink Hill tour, which was very cool, man, because the first time I'd seen true underground too, because they had Neurosis opening and Biohazard.
Oh, I like Biohazard.
Oh yeah, that was right when Mataleo just came out.
Yes.
Yeah, great album, great band.
Yeah.
I Biohazard.
Yeah, I saw. Well, actually, Pantera. It was Pantera, Sepultura, Biohazard. That was my one time seeing Pantera.
See, I never got to see Sepultura though. Not Max years, none of that, man.
Right. Second time I saw him was with Slayer of all bands.
Oh my. I seen them their last tour. The Reinventing the Steel. They had Morbid Angel.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a sick one too. Morbid Angel. I think Soulfly at the time. Yeah, that was good.
I like Soulfly.
Dude, I tell people all the time, man. I'm like, dude, one of the loudest and heaviest bands I ever seen, and meanest pits I ever seen was Pantera, hands down. I don't think there's anybody that can compare when it was the pits that would break out were insane back then.
Violent. Craziest I saw was recent Cro-Mags.
Yo, dude, old Cro-Mags, man.
Not old, they're still crazy. They're just as crazy.
Yeah, but didn't John Joseph and them whatever it was over the name and the rights? Okay.
Yeah, Harley bought him out. Harley, I mean, he's a great dude.
Yeah, okay.
Scary, but great.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I love Cro-Mags, dude. That's awesome.
And I mean, the pit there were fists coming from everywhere.
Yeah, but dude, you gotta think that's the old school hardcore, man. Yeah. That's out, that's what they did. Yeah, see shows like that would have been killer, man. See, I never got that opportunity being in the Midwest of the United States and Indiana. I see corn.
A lot of cornfields.
Yeah, absolutely.
What tops your musical bucket list?
I mean, I think everybody's kind of got your I want to go play Europe. I want to go do this. I want to go do that. I mean, I think every musician, I think that's just something that keeps us driving. You know what I mean? I think there's always going to be that one thing, that next thing, But I mean, I've accomplished a lot. I mean, I remember the days of starting up and just going to a studio and recording. A huge deal. So, like I said, as you hit those milestones, man, I just think for me personally that's what keeps me going. So I mean, for me right now, obviously I'd like to hit some of the bigger festival circuits over in Europe and stuff like that. I would love those opportunities. And then, I mean, I've got to play with bands like Suffocation, all the bands that really brought me up. So, I mean, I've hit those bucket list ones. So nice. I don't know. I guess I'm just constantly got something to keep that drive.
What do your kids think of your music?
Oh, they hate it. They are the total opposite. Even my wife, she is polar opposite of me. So I've kind of got this own little realm of my own, which I don't mind. I love them all to death, but I don't mind. But no, they get it. I've raised them around it, man, because a lot of people get a lot of preconceived notions because of the how graphic it is and this and that. Like I tell people, this is no different than anybody going and watching a Wes Craven a movie or, reading a Stephen King novel. We just put it in music form. And for some reason, I think music's always got that bad rap. And I don't know why they get that stigma of why it's more serious or taken more serious, but yeah, man.
Braxton, this is a little bit off the topic of music, but what's the hardest habit that you quit?
Hardest habit I quit? Alcohol and drugs. The September 22nd will be 6 years.
Nice.
Congratulations on your sobriety.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Yeah, definitely life changer for me, for sure.
I'm sure it's for the better, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
That's really cool. Have you ever played a musical instrument?
Yeah, but I'm not very good. I'll stick to the vocals.
You get to run around the stage looking like a maniac.
Exactly. Or a retard, one of the two. I don't know. I let people decide.
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I have fun. But I mean, nah, I mean I can do your basics on guitar, bass, drums, just your basic stuff.
That's all good though. You gotta
Yeah.
start somewhere, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I love telling the stories, man. I love writing the stories.
That's really cool. What would you say is your most graphic song?
Mm. Uh, I don't know, man, because I guess it would just depend, but because to me there's a fine line. There's gore graphic, you know what I mean? There's violence. There's a mysterious. There's different things that do different vibes. You know what I mean? So, uh, I'd say Violent Ending's pretty good. That track, and then a lot of them off of the new ones. Suffocation. Yeah, that one's pretty good. It's what else? Oh, trying to think. Um, let me see. Yeah, Satisfaction of Suffocation. That's pretty brutal. That's like on the new album. It's telling the story of, obviously we talked about the serial killer, but that way he's got this godlike complex, and he's getting off on shrink wrapping these women and raping them. And so watching that suffocation gives him his gratification. So
You just
it
described Al's Pornhub.
That's your OnlyFans, Rhino.
Yeah.
I would do porn. Fuck porn.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, like with each song, man, I try to tap in. There's different kinds of sickness, I guess, is what I was trying to say. You know what I mean? Like, it's just how it's interpreted.
Yeah, because the first one you named, The Violent Ending, that's my favorite song. Are you guys going to play that in Arkansas?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Oh man, I can't wait to hear that.
Yeah, dude, it's a good one live too. It's so fun, dude. I love playing that one live. It's fun.
That song's such a ripper, dude. It makes my face just melt.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it, dude. Yeah, I really love that song too, man. It definitely, that's probably one of my favorite songs on the first EP for sure, if not my favorite song on that first EP.
Yeah, that song just rips. Like I said, there's something about it.
Yeah. I'm really happy with the new stuff too, though, man. Like we're incredibly stoked about that. So yeah.
Well, before I hand it over to Rhino, you want to tell us how you got hooked up to play with Putrid Pile? He's awesome.
Oh, okay. I've known Sean for over 20 years. I used to play in a band called Rupture Christ back in the day. And it was during that whole golden era of brutal death metal, man. So like I remember we were playing a festival in Cleveland, Ohio, and Sean was playing right before us, and I'd never heard of him. And he just gets up there and just rips the shit out of the stage, and it's just one man with a drum machine. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I gotta follow that? You know what I mean? Like, holy shit, this dude by himself just decimated this whole crowd, you know? And then we go up on stage, man, and he hands me a demo, and it was the Bleed For Me demo. And oh, dude, I've been a future. Me and Sean, man, we've stayed good friends throughout all these years, man. That's one of my good friends and one of my best homies in the scene, man. Shout out to Sean. Love you, brother.
Right on, dude. Right on. I was just about to ask you about shout outs. I give shout outs all the time, especially.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. I mean, dude, yeah, Sean's a big one, man, because like my whole time coming up in the scene, dude, Sean was always a supporter, dude, like always. And I can say the same for like Matt Bishop and the Human Artifacts guys, the Leviticity guys, you know, even bands like Malignancy and Devourment. We all came up in that time, man. So it's really cool to see like Brodequin and bands like that starting to break through after all these years, man, and seeing that actual brutal death metal coming to the light.
Absolutely. What you got, Brian?
Excuse me?
Sorry, Rhino. I called you out on your name. Woohoo!
I'm in witness protection, All right, so finish this sentence just for fun. Okay, so this one time at band camp.
This one time at band camp, I stuck a flute up my no. I got caught playing bass.
Oh God!
Good one. I ain't got nothing for that, man. You got me on that one. That's the best I got.
So, let me see. Most hectic moment on the road. Here, not just.
Oh, okay. So I was just talking about that Cleveland show with Sean. Coming back, we were teenage kids at this time. So I live in northeast Indiana. So we're right on the Ohio line. So we got about a 3-hour drive, and it's the major road 80-90. So we've got, I think it's 6 people in a Ford Taurus and gear loaded in this car, man. We're headed down the highway, and a mud flap off a semi comes off. Ooh. And we just filled the tank. Dime size hole in the side of come up and put in our tank, man, and just sprayed gas everywhere. So here we are on 80-90, the major toll road. 7 of us in a Ford Taurus out of state. Drummer's got his drums out on the side of the road, and a state cop pulls up. He was cool. Everything was cool, but I just think in my head, man, like, what did this dude think when he pulled up to this shit? Yeah. But yeah, man, that was a pretty crazy little incident.
Where'd you hide the drugs?
In my pocket.
All right. Musically, do you have any pet peeves?
Man, yeah, I mean, I think it's weird because I'm so open-minded to a lot of different music, but then when it comes to like metal, I'm such the elitist on it with certain things, and I think it's funny because I think a lot of us are. So like to me, like I'm not a huge deathcore fan, so there's that realm of the sub genres and stuff like that. So I don't know. I guess I can't really pinpoint one thing that.
Yeah. Hey, why not?
Yeah.
Deathcore sucks.
Yeah.
So we touched.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. We touched on how your kids take your music. 2-part, do you come from a musical family, and what does the rest of your family think about your music?
My family, yeah. My brother, he was always a singer. My family just dabbled. They never did anything professionally or anything crazy, but I came from a Southern family actually, so a lot of them were Southern Baptists. So a lot of them sang in the Southern Baptist choirs and stuff like that. So a lot of bluegrass I was raised on. So yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of everything, man. Like, yeah.
All right, one more here before I turn it to Al. Okay, so when you're on the road, how often do you feed your bassist?
My bassist eat. He loves this food, so we got to keep him fed. We don't keep him fed, man. There's trouble.
Ah,
As much as people like to not think, we do love our bassist. We do love him. We do try to take care of him, even though he is a bassist.
all right, Al.
He's a bassist, not a face sitter.
Right.
Shit, that's funny. I never thought about that before, but hey, why not? You know?
Yeah, right, exactly.
You know, we were talking a little bit earlier about New Kids on the Block being one of your guilty pleasures.
Hell yeah.
Who else do you find to be a guilty pleasure? For myself, believe it or not, is TLC.
Oh, nice, dude. I'll be honest with you, man. I love a lot of, like I said, I listen to a lot of different music, but like, dude, I love like 80s cheesy pop, like 90s R&B, 90s hip hop, early 90s hip hop, late 80s, early 90s stuff. I mean, yeah, I got like bluegrass, dude. I got a lot of guilty pleasures, man. A lot. I guess I can't call them guilty pleasures, I claim them, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I can understand that. I mean, there's nothing really guilty about listening to it, but when Rhino's not working out, he likes to sit back in his spare time and jerk off the Limp Bizkit tunes.
He's doing it all for the nookie.
That's right. He never got the cookie, though.
Yeah, right. We don't want to know where he sticks it.
Oh.
Hey, that's what the song said. I don't know.
I guess that's why I have a bunch of unmatched socks.
That would make sense. And you have multicolored boxer shorts probably to match them. It's a little bit of a mix and match over here today. Why not?
Right. Can only find this one.
Let me ask you this question, Braxton. What was the first death metal album that you purchased?
That I purchased? Deicide, Once Upon a Cross. That was the first one I purchased. Actually, one of the first death metal bands and albums I listened to.
I can totally dig it. Personally, with me, it was Suffocation, Effigy of the Forgotten, also Mortification, Scrolls of the Megaloth.
Oh, dude, that's just classic shit right there, man. And then right after that, wasn't long after that, I bought Obituary, Cause of Death.
That's a good one.
Yeah, man. I was James Murphy solos in that, man. Just the guitar work at that time. It was pretty awesome, man. And he don't get a lot of love as a death metal vocalist, and I don't understand it. John Tardy is an amazing fucking death metal vocalist. Like, I don't understand why they don't put him on a stature with Corpse Grinder and Glenn Benton.
I wonder if it's because he doesn't do gutturals, but at the same time,
that's what made him so beautiful. You know what I mean? Like, that was the thing. He was doing something totally different. But you knew when you listened to like Chopped in Half, you know what I mean? That long, drawn out, just screeching. That was death metal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You knew it was death metal, but he wasn't guttural.
Yeah, he had his own distinct voice, and he still does. I'm surprised that he can still do it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, yeah, he was a huge influence on me, a huge influence.
Yeah, Frank Mullen for myself, and also I would have to say Chris Barnes before he started losing his voice.
Hey, man, I'm a Corpse Grinder guy. I mean, I really am. Even in the Bleeding, I love the Bleeding. You know what I mean? Barnes, that's probably my favorite Barnes album. I mean, I think he really came into his own then. But I mean, and I like a lot of earlier 6 Feet Under. But yeah, where he's at now, he just needs to hang it up. Do himself a favor.
Yeah, he's just totally shot like the vacuum hose sucked all the energy out of him.
I just don't understand And I don't want to be the guy, but how does Metal Blade look at him and go, "Yes, we're going to release this after a listening"? You know what I mean? Like, I guess I don't know.
That would be a really good question to ask Brian Slagle.
Yeah, right. Like, I mean, obviously, there's probably a close relationship, and I'm sure that's play into it. And don't get me wrong, 6 Feet Under has their fans, they have their following. But yeah, just please, Chris, hang it up, bud.
Yeah, Corpse Grinder is better.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people don't like to hear that, especially a lot of old school people, man. But I mean, you look at the longevity of Cannibal Corpse, man. He put in way more years. He's done way more many albums, man. And if you listen to me, like as a vocalist, I listen to his clarity, his pronunciation. I mean, he was always guttural, especially in this time, man. And to watch that dude's videos in the studio is astonishing. The words and just how accurate and consistent he is mind blowing.
Yeah, definitely a good professional vocalist for sure.
100%.
Well, we're can't even talk right now. Hey,
Yeah.
Rat, what you got, buddy?
Me?
No, your shadow. Yeah, you.
Oh, cool. Yeah. All right. For the South, this is probably going to be considered sacrilege. Okay, you have to wipe one music catalog off the face of the earth. You got to pick between Elvis or Johnny Cash.
Ooh, dude. Ouch. Oh, that's man. Okay, I'm gonna have to say you got to get rid of Johnny Cash. I know that surprises a lot of people, but here's why. I think if no Elvis, no Johnny Cash. I think he brought rock and roll to the forefront. So I mean, ultimately, I don't think you have the career or anything like that if you don't have Elvis.
Yeah, even though he did steal a lot of his stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, look, I'm playing this, but I'm a white guy, so it's okay with your parents.
Yeah, man. I mean, if you're talking as a pure artist,
right.
I'm Johnny Cash all day long. All day long. I mean, yeah, that's a given. But I mean, ultimately, I mean, the way music has went, I don't think Johnny Cash or a lot of gospel singers at that time would have got exposure like they did if it wasn't for Elvis.
Luckily, Elvis exposed himself. Yes.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He did, man. He really did.
Well, speaking of Elvis, didn't he get censored on the Ed Sullivan show for shaking his hips?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, just think of that, guys. Think of how taboo and how that was back then.
Yeah, censor shit.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, I think it would have been really cool to be around in those days and to witness rock and roll in its beginning form and seeing these people like Jerry Lee Lewis in a high school gymnasium. You know what I mean? Like, I think that would be so awesome.
Seeing, hopefully, having one AM radio with a tube working, or having somebody in their town that has a television.
Yeah, right. Right. And, and that was another thing, I talk to people a lot, especially recording nowadays, because, it's so digital, it's so perfect, it's so just copy, cut, paste, you know what I mean? Back then, the music was so pure, man. You went into a place that did the wax, man, and you had one take, all of you live, one mic. And that shit is timeless.
Yes. Absolutely. So, what did you get into? Well, what did you do musically during COVID? And also, how fucking hard was it to have 6 kids during COVID?
That's a good question. During COVID, man, that was really the takeoff of like getting Between the Killings, dude. We tracked that first EP during COVID. There was a lot of writing. I mean, which was good at that time. And that's where it kind of became like, hey, let's just do this as a studio thing. I think a lot of us had a lot of downtime. So, I think it was easier for us to kind of get things wrote that way. So, I mean, that's what I did during COVID. 6 kids, I say I'm like a car salesman. I got every year. So a lot of it, I got adult kids and I got young kids, man, teenagers. So some of them were out of the house, some live with their mothers. So it wasn't that bad, but yeah, there was moments, dude. There was moments that we had a house full, and it was interesting.
Oh, damn. Oh, what you got, buddy?
Well, let's see here. Braxton, what would you say is the most brutal death metal band on the planet?
Man, that's a tough question. That's probably one of the toughest questions you've asked.
ABBA.
Yes, nailed it.
Journey.
The Bee Gees. I mean, dude, there's so many factors that go into that, dude. Are you talking death? Are you talking groove? Are you talking glam?
Just straight up death metal.
Just straight up death metal. I mean, for its time, I mean, it's hard to deny that Devourment didn't bring this extra beefy heaviness in 1990 something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to me, A Dying Fetus, that's another one, man. I think it's kind of overshadowed in that brutal death metal because they're a little more mainstream. But yeah, man, that's a hard one, dude. There's Severe Torture. There's so many. Defeated Sanity.
How about Scattered Cadaver?
Waking the Cadaver, Pyrexia. I mean, dude, I could name a list and list and list. So that's a good one, man. That's a hard question, but I would say all in all, like Devourment really set a whole new tone, I feel.
Yeah, they definitely step it up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, they took something so basic. When you listen to Devourment, which now we've got the subgenre of slam, but if you listen to a band like Devourment, it was just slam riffs, but back in that day, they made it so heavy in that drumming style, hearing that band snare type rolls and, those super hyper blasts back then, man, that was unheard of. And Disgorge, California. I can't leave them out in Deeds of Flesh.
Yeah, Deeds of Flesh are great. Rest in peace, Eric Lindmark.
Yeah, absolutely. Eric was a great man. He was a great man, dude. Those early Unique Leader days, man, you couldn't top, or that was a hard roster to top, man.
Yeah, they got some crazy time signatures too.
Oh yeah. Path of the Weakening, all-time favorite Deeds album.
Yes, mine too.
Yes, man. Yes, Lustmord, Path of the Weakening, two of my favorite Deed songs ever.
Indigenous to the Appalling, or whatever it's called.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Yes, and don't get me wrong. I love their earlier shit than that. Trading Pieces and all that shit.
In Bringing the Anthropophagi.
Yeah, dude, that's a great out. That's great. I mean, dude, Deeds. Even now, man. I mean, it's different than what it once was, but Deeds is still good, dude. They're still so.
I got to see them back on July 31st, back in 2006.
Oh, nice, man. Nice.
Yeah, they were playing with Decrepit Birth and also Odious Mortem in a band called Haborim.
Oh, yeah, that was one of those, the Unique Leader tours, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Bloodletting.
Yeah, Blood. I couldn't think of the name of them. One of the Bloodletting.
Okay. It was number 5 to be exact, and it was funny because Vile was supposed to play, but they didn't. They ended up leaving.
And was that that would have been about the time like Stench of Disease come out, right?
Who?
Vile, Stench of Disease.
Yeah.
Yeah, around that time.
Yep, that album's fucking sick, dude.
Dude, that's the sickest Vile albums ever. And the artwork, John Zig, shout out John Zig. He did the Between Killings logo. But yeah, dude, like his artwork for that is so fucking sick.
Absolutely. One of my favorite albums of all time. I could listen to it back to back, especially the live tracks.
Yeah, man, so good. Severed Savior at that time too. Forced to Bleed album.
Yep. That and Servile Insurrection.
Yes. Yeah, man. Great shit. Great. The good old days.
That's right. Take us back to the good old days.
Here are the 90-year-old guys talking our death metal.
Wheelchair mosh pit in the dining hall. To all old folk, come down to the dining hall for wheelchair.
Yeah, right. Set down your bingo cards.
We're gonna watch Slayer play Ghosts in its entirety. Ghosts of War.
I hope Kerry King isn't around that long.
Yeah, dude, I am 100% with you on that one. Poor Slayer. I hope they don't do this tour. I mean,
It's not a tour, they say,
guys, but man, please, it's over. It's over.
They need to change their name. They need to change that name from Slayer to Player.
Yeah, dude, because I mean, I get it from a business aspect. I try to be that guy. I don't want to be the, well, you can't do this guy, but man, there's just some things you don't fuck with.
Exactly. There's sometimes where you got to just draw the line.
Yeah.
In a moment where if you read something that you're just saying, yeah, that's a little too much.
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, what does it look like, guys? Money. They're just wanting money.
Yeah, money's now.
I don't know, but I mean that's what it looks like. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. It's a brand. It quit being a band decades ago. I mean, look at Diablos and Musica.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I'd rather listen to Rain and Blood and South of Heaven.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah, dude. Yeah. Absolutely. Although Divine Intervention, I don't think gets a lot of love that it should.
I don't love it.
That's one of my favorite Slayer albums.
I call it the Vocal Effects album.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It was just a little. It kind of gave a little bit of everything, man. And especially as a young kid, I think that's when you started seeing them with the more groove stuff, the more catchier stuff. You know, not so thrashy. But I mean, as a young kid, you know, that album is what really triggered me into Slayer. You know.
Speaking of Slayer, it's kind of funny because back in the day, I had a friend, and I'm still friends with this guy. He spray painted on his parents' basement walls and stuff. He put "God hates us all," and so one day I got my picture taken, so it looks like it says "God hates us, Al."
That's awesome.
I'm like, I don't think God hates anybody.
I respect that. That is amazing.
You should have
I think I might still have that picture. Actually, I'm gonna have to look on my fail book later, and I'll send it to you.
You should have hit. You should have hit us and one. Hey, God hates Al.
See, he's taking it. Rhino's taking it to another level. See, you guys are gaining way and way more respect with me. I love it.
But if you really think about it, God really doesn't hate anybody. He just hates what they do.
He just hates Al.
Yeah, God hates Al. All right, Al righty then.
Yeah, it's just Al.
Damn, that's terrible, man.
Bad time to be named Al.
Yeah.
Yeah. What can you do, man?
Well, yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, it sounds like you're in a bad situation.
I don't know. 10-minute.
Just roll with it.
That's all I can do, man. Shit, that's funny.
All right. If I can hop in, I have a question that will start a lot of fights at Arkansas Death Fest if you ask it.
Yes.
What is the first true death metal album?
Ooh.
Excuse me.
Actually, you should end your set with that and walk off and just let it happen.
Hilarious.
I have to say death, dude. Like, that was like the first. I don't know, man. That's like saying who created. I mean, there were so many variables with that, you know.
There has to be a first.
Yeah, who started heavy metal. I mean, if you want to break it down, I mean, yeah, I would have to say Death, dude, for me.
Too cool. Oh, what was that? Okay, I got one last one for you. Okay, we're talking about a lot about death metal lyrics, theme. What album or lyrics have you seen where you're just like, no, that's just too much?
That's what I was asking before.
No, you didn't.
But
No,
well,
you
you kind of, dude. I have to even say, like, if you guys go and look at my Rupture Christ lyrics, it now that I'm older, I look back at teenage me and go, "What in the fuck, dude? What was you doing? Why did you say that? Like, that's just wrong." But I think at that time for us, like, the more offensive we could be, the funnier it was, and the more we wanted to tap that. So, like, dude, we had a song called "Penetrating Preschool Pussy."
Oh God.
Yeah, but the story of it, people don't. But once again, people didn't realize what the backstory was. You know what I mean? They just read the title, lyrics, and went, "Fuck." And looking back now, older me goes, "Oh, dumbass, why did you do that?" You know what I mean? You could have put this in a different way, but it was a guy. He was a janitor. It was almost like a Freddy Krueger type story, man. It was a guy. He got caught up. He was getting kindergartners and these preschoolers from the school that he was janitor at, and he got caught up in doing this. And what got him caught was he had a shed that had burnt at the school, and they had found missing, like, the clothing of the missing kids and stuff. So yeah, he ended up getting caught, and yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
There's an old punk song called "I Love Dead Babies." I want to take it along with like campaign videos of Joe Biden and sync the music up with them.
Yes, dude. Yes. Perfect. I love it. But yeah, man. So, dude, there's just, what isn't offensive now, I guess, is the better question. I mean, anything now, what isn't offensive?
I mean, it's bad enough we had bands.
I tapped on some pretty taboo and some pretty extreme shit with that, man. Funny thing was, I met Trevor Stainer from the Black Dahlia Murder, and that dude was like a musical genius. I mean, and dude, he's telling me Rupture Christ lyrics. I'm like, how the fuck did you even know who the fuck we were, for one? And then he's reciting these lyrics. He's like, dude, I have never read lyrics that were so repulsive and just wrong. I'm like, yeah, I guess I'll own this one. Young and dumb.
Unfortunately, I put the Black Dahlia Murder in with Hot Topic metal.
Yeah, man. I mean, dude, I've known those guys. We're from the Midwest, A lot of bands, I may not be into, but yeah, they're still good friends. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And those guys were great, man. And Trevor, that dude was a true metalhead. That dude was a true supporter. Anything underground, man. He fucking supported it all, man. He was and he knew his shit. He did. He knew his shit. Yeah, rest in peace, Trevor, man. That was a really great dude, man. For real.
I always wanted to meet him, but I won't ever have that chance.
Yeah.
Someday.
Man, I was fortunate enough to be able to call him a friend. You know what I mean? And we lost a good one, for sure, man.
Yep. That's true.
Yeah.
Well, you have any questions for us?
No, man. I just want to say thank you to both of you, man, for having me on here.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. We, between the Killings, appreciate you guys, man. I love what you're doing here. This has been fun. I do want to tell everybody we do have a new EP coming out June 7th through Comatose Music, The Killing Quartet, Volume 2, Omnipotence. This is a continuance from the Killing Quartet story. There's 4-part series to this. So everybody, we got a music video for the single Omnipotence. Please check it out. Share. We're on all social media. We got pre-orders up on our Bandcamp, so you can go there, or you can go to comatosemusic.com and pre-order there. But man, we're looking forward to Arkansas. That new stage that Heath built out there looks fucking amazing. We can't wait to slay it, man. And like I said, thank you guys for letting me come out here and waste your guys' time.
Well, there's nothing about wasting time, man. That was all good.
No, it's been great, guys. For real, thank you so much. We do. We appreciate you.
Yeah, we appreciate you too, man, because that was going to be my last question for you, is if you had any last words for Underground Noise Webzine.
Nah, man, like I said, keep doing what you guys are doing, man, because it takes guys like you doing this to help promote bands like us and bands like your band. And it takes the fans, them out there supporting, that keeps the drive. And we want to thank all of them too. Most importantly, the fans, man. Thank you so much, man. We love it. We love it.
It's a pleasure.